House Committee passes the Audit the Fed bill. Retail collapse, the end of an era for retail giant Sears. Here is your collapse news for March 29th, 2017. House Committee passes bill to audit the Fed. The Republican-controlled Committee on Oversight and Government Reform approved a bill earlier today to allow for a congressional audit of the Federal Reserve's monetary policy. Proposal Fed policymakers have opposed and likely faces a difficult path to final approval in the Senate. Under the bill, Fed's monetary policy deliberations could be subject to outside review by the Government Accountability Office. That said, Trump expressed an interest in passing such legislation multiple times during the 2016 campaign, which means the third time might just be the charm for Republicans. It is so important to audit the Federal Reserve, and yet Ted Cruz missed the vote on the bill that would allow this to be done. This is a big step to exposing the fraud and manipulation that is the central banking cartel, whom essentially controls the world's money. The biggest victory here is awareness. More and more people are waking up to what the Federal Reserve is and that it's a private institution with stockholders. Those stockholders who are on a private list that we are not allowed to see. These are the people that issue our money. Regardless if the bill passes or not, Federal Reserve's days are numbered. Collapse fact: Lamborghini was the first car company in the world to accept bitcoins. More about the great collapse in retail. Retail revolutions are neither rare nor permanent. Sears, Roebuck & Company recently issued a very strong caution about its ability to survive while moving forward. Things seem to have come full circle in the days of Sears' dominance. In the late 1800s, Richard Sears began to sell watches by mail order. He sold that company, but a few years later he started another mail order business to sell clothing and other products. The initiation of rural free delivery in 1896 and parcel post in 1913 enabled Sears to send its merchandise to even the most isolated customers. The Sears catalog became a staple of American family life. By the 1960s, 1 out of 200 U.S. workers received a Sears paycheck, and 1 out of every 3 carried a Sears credit card. The Sears catalog was a book of dreams that allowed those of us who grew up in rural America to access products that were either not available or were very high priced in the local general store. It's hard to believe, but Sears didn't really have a physical store until the 1920s, by which time the company was the largest retailer in the world. But Sears' experience enabled Sam Walton, who didn't start until 1962, to surpass Sears by 1990, and by 2000 Walmart sales were 6 times those of Sears. Fast forward to 2017, the 178,000 current employees of Sears are an endangered species. Sears had 3,555 stores in 2010, and today it has 1,503 and will close another 10% of its stores this year. Additional stores will be closed sooner rather than later, unless hedge fund genius Eddie Lampert can pull yet another rabbit out of his seemingly bottomless hat. Sears will pass the way of Blockbuster and Kodak. This is an important collapse trend because as more and more retail stores close, the more unemployment rises. This has a huge ripple effect throughout the economy to other industries as well, manufacturing and of course transportation, and is a major factor that will lead to the eventual collapse of the system. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to sign up for our mailing list so we can send you collapse alerts as they happen.